Hellbent Vixen. We're gonna have our cereal, so I got some nails and some screws, and let's get
Whoa. What are you doing? Alyssa, no. What are you doing?
You're metal. You said this is like hardcore. It's
not that kind of metal. Nuh-uh. That kind of metal.
That could have been awful.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Hello, my friends, and welcome to Let's Get Cereal, the weekly show where I, your host, Alyssa Marino, eat cereal, talk about stuff, sometimes talk to people. My guest today is none other than my dear sweet friend, Viva Van. Viva! Today, you actually picked our cereal. So we have Dunkin Donuts Mocha Latte Cereal picked by ours truly, Viva Van. I can't remember. I know we've been on road trips. Are you a coffee lover? Like, why? What was so special about this?
Well, yes, I am a coffee lover, a coffee addict, and as soon as I saw this, I went down the aisle, the cereal aisle at the market, and nothing really caught my eye, until I saw this baby right here. I felt like this was calling my name. Does it say caffeine at all?
Coffee concentrate. So we're in for a fun interview. It smells like...
It smells like coffee.
It smells like coffee. It smells like coffee grounds.
It's okay. Here's my Asian porcelain bowl.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so we have our marshmallows. Now, to me, this looks like just s'mores. It looks like toasted marshmallows, but there's also... There's definitely that coffee element. Get our ratio... I have like just enough milk, so...
I don't like too much milk in my cereal. I'm weird. My brothers, they do not do milk in their cereal at all. I don't know why, but I do. A little bit.
Okay. I mean, hey, I'd rather do no milk at all than do soggy cereal. So.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you on that.
So if we had to have it one way or the other, I would side with your brothers. My friend, Viva Van, Dunkin Donuts Mocha Latte Cereal. Let's get cereal.
I got a flashback of Lucky Charms, like a coffee version of Lucky Charms. I don't know why.
You think it's the marshmallows?
Probably.
It's interesting because I was expecting it to be like mocha. I was expecting it to be more chocolatey. But I don't hate it at the same time.
It can like wake people up, people don't want to drink coffee, just eat this.
I mean, it's something, right? Get a little boost. We did say this has coffee concentrate in it. So you're getting a little something probably. We went over the fact that you are a coffee lover, but you're also a music lover. You've got a background as a death metal vocalist. Now, you and I actually had this conversation during a NorCal trip going up to Glam, and you recently were talking about it on your Instagram.
Yeah.
There are genres and subgenres and sub-subgenres of metal. Black metal, death metal. One of my favorites, new metal. Don't judge me. It's nostalgia. Can't help it. So you said that it's okay if people don't know, you just don't want them faking the funk.
Yes.
So here on Let's Get Cereal, we do word of the day, where we teach people different words. Would you be able to enlighten our breakfast buddies on maybe like a certain kind of metal and what makes it unique?
Well, the type of death metal that is my favorite. I do listen to different types of death metal, from different eras of that genre, but my favorite would be old school death metal, specifically Swedish death metal, and that's like from the early 90s. There's no other way to explain like what type it is, only if you just listen to it, and there's like bands like Necrophobic, bands like Unleashed that have that Swedish old school death metal sound. because we were talking about certain different bands, and I was like, it's a type of singing style too. Like old school death metal to me sounds more like it's growls instead of screams, you know? And a lot of people can't tell the difference between that. But I think we had this conversation on our trip to Glam one time.
We did. Because I remember you were talking about just different, you're like, oh, I love like this band. I'm like, oh, okay. Are they this? And you're like, no, they're this because this. So like,
Yeah. Like the vocals sound like this because they're growling instead of screaming. High screams, like not high screams, like the high growls, and that's considered black metal. Other people who don't listen to this type of music, everyone's like, this all sounds the same. No, it doesn't. I guess you just have to listen to it more often for it to sound different, but it actually sounds different from each other.
No, I mean, it's like anything, like wrestling. People might see wrestling and say like, oh, cool, like that's wrestling. It's like, no, that's lucha. You know,
Yeah.
like, there's so
There
many.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you for that. And now that we're a bit more wise, I'm very curious. Do you feel that having a background as a musical performer and even with modeling, do you feel like that helped inspire you in your pursuit in the pro wrestling world?
Yes, 100%. Definitely has helped me with my confidence in wrestling. I think when I had started out in modeling, I wasn't as confident, you know? Because like you have to be able to get yourself to pose in front of cameras, and not only in front of cameras, but when you work at car shows, there's everyone staring at you. Everybody is staring at you. So it got me used to just, I guess in a way, modeling in front of a bunch of people at car shows and stuff like that helped me to just be comfortable to be in front of people. And then with death metal, it just helped me with like stage presence. And every wrestler, when you walk out there, the wrestling ring, that is your stage. So I think that has helped me a lot.
To go on stage, to go in the ring,
Mm-hmm.
get shows, to do what you do, it takes definitely a lot of confidence that you've built over time, which is important. Now we are fresh off of Halloween. Did you spend it taking in any horror movies, perhaps?
Yes, I did. Just with my family, eating candy. No trick-or-treaters this year, so we were eating all of the candy. We did have some candy just in case if there was anyone that wanted to show up, but we're glad no one did because it's probably safer that way.
Safer that way and more candy for you.
Yeah, a lot of candy.
Do you have a favorite candy?
I do. I have a lot of favorite ones, but my go-to is probably Twix, Hershey, almond Hershey's, and Sour Patch Kids.
Like throw the Sour Patch in there just as
just gotta throw a little kick in there, you know?
Now, with the horror movies that you were taking in, do you have a standard favorite that you always watch, or were there any new ones that you found this year that you liked?
Oh, I found a lot of new ones because I joined Shudder about a year ago, and I was always like, I don't need to join Shudder to find my favorite horror movies. No, Shudder changed my world. Yeah, it opened it up because it's specifically just for horror movies and their own horror movies, you know? I do rewatch the Conjuring series a lot. I just love that whole universe, and I feel like they really bring that old school horror movie vibe back. And it's been so long since we've had any horror movies like that. But my newest favorite ones, I would have to say, on Shudder would be like, I think Terrified, Night Shift, and Pedagore is a new one. It's like a Cambodian horror movie. So I was like very interested. I was like, like this Cambodian horror movie. Same actress from another Cambodian horror movie that I really love called Satan's Slave. And that was a remake for another movie that was in the 70s. But the remake is way better. So do not watch the old one. Watch the remake of Satan's Slave.
Wow, everyone's going to be taking notes on like Swedish death metal bands and Cambodian horror movies. Like
I have one more recommendation.
Please.
Sadako and versus Kayako, and that's pretty much The Grudge versus The Ring. Way better than Freddy versus Jason. Just watch it. It's all on Shudder.
We talk about metal and wrestling, horror movies, but I want to get into the Viva that people may not know. A recent graduate, congratulations.
Thank you.
An organizer that's helping propel the wrestling scene in Vietnam, a Disney lover, CEO running her own business. You started the year and you had the goal of raising funds for Vietnam's very first pro wrestling academy, Saigon Pro Wrestling Club. So can you tell me what motivated you to dive into that cause?
When I first started working as a wrestler, I just wanted to get out there to as many different countries as possible. So I remember I thought to myself, like, does Vietnam have a wrestling scene at all? You know? So I Googled, Vietnam wrestling, and I found this documentary on their school, BPW school. I just found their Facebook from there, and I messaged them, and I was like, hey, I'm interested in working with you guys. How are you guys doing? And they told me that they're doing good. They're the first wrestling school in southern Vietnam, and they actually don't have a wrestling ring. And in the documentary, they were working in a ring, but they said that was a boxing ring that they just stopped by to film the documentary at. Whoa. So they showed me clips of them doing wrestling shows just on a wrestling mat, and I was really blown away because I'm like, wow, because over here we're kind of spoiled, and sometimes we complain about a certain ring being too small or too big. The ropes is not good enough, to do any lucha stuff. And then over here in Vietnam, they're moonsaulting off a freaking table onto a 2-inch mat. What are we complaining about? We have it so much better. So that's when I decided to help them out, and we reached our goal, and I think they had their first wrestling show with the ring back in, a few months ago. It was a great show. A lot of people showed up, but I think COVID has kind of slowed them back down again. So our next goal right now is to try to once everything clears up, we're trying to get sponsors so that they can actually make a living off of wrestling, or actually at least get paid for it,
Yeah, right now it's just the love and the passion for it. And for people that might not know, you're the first Viet American female pro wrestler.
I didn't know that until they told me that. They're like, you're actually the first female. We don't have any females over here. And that's when, I'm just going to run with it and claim it.
I love it. You claimed it. It's yours. Let's add even more accomplishments for a rather unconventional year. After all of the posts about homework and the memes about exams, you graduated from CSU in May. Congrats! Yes.
Thank you. I'm so happy it's over.
I remember the horror stories you used to tell me. We'd be at a show and you'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe this one class. So I was so...
Oh my gosh, I probably whined so much to you guys. I'm so sorry.
Okay. So this might seem like a difficult, strange question, but if you had to compare the two, which was more difficult? Writing papers for college or bumping at Santino's?
To a regular person, I might sound crazy in the head, but I'd rather bump at Santino's than write paper. That's just me, okay? That's just what I love to do. Why do wrestlers love what we do? We don't know, but we do it. And I would bump any day over writing paper.
I think both are incredible accolades, both graduating from Santino Brothers Wrestling Academy and graduating from CSU. So congrats. But that takes us even further into what I like to call boss queen territory. And that was with you launching your own vegan cosmetics and accessories line back in August, Hellbent Glam. So can you share a little bit about just the inspiration behind the brand?
So I went to school for business marketing. I took many classes on how to start a business, and I think my last year is when we really dived into how to run a business, how to start a business, or just how to help a business if you're not planning to start one. Well, when the pandemic hit, everything got canceled for me. All my bookings were canceled. My graduation, I didn't even get a ceremony still to this day. I just took a picture at my house and that was it with my gown. But other than that, everything was canceled, and I thought, damn, I really need to think of something, So I was like, why don't I just do what I learned in school? And I love makeup. I've worn makeup since I was 15, 16. If I were to sell something, I think makeup would be it. Because I know what's good, I know what works, and I guess I can keep up with the trend with makeup. So that's where I went from there. But I wanted to start a makeup line specifically for alternative girls, for goth girls, metalhead girls, punk girls, all of that.
Nicely done. It is absolutely amazing. As things were starting to slowly launch, It was so exciting to see.
Yeah.
From Hellbent Glam to your in-ring title of the Hellbent Vixen, can you tell me a little bit about why that moniker of being Hellbent is so special to you?
I think it's just the drive to prove people wrong all my life and the drive to just succeed at anything that you put your mind to. That's why the word hellbent just really resonates with me. Also, because I got it from Judas Priest. So thank you, Judas Priest.
You truly are incredibly passionate. You're driven to just ascend to the heights of anything you put your mind toward. What do you think are some of the influences in your life that you feel shaped you into being hellbent?
A lot of things, actually. Well, being like bullied my whole life, I was bullied as a kid. Maybe that's why I'm a metalhead now, and then dealing with like hardships in life, like I grew up with an abusive stepfather, and I got out of that. I'm okay now, but it took some time, and I think that shaped me a lot to like always like work hard at whatever you want and just drive for success and don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Just go after what you want and just be hell-bent.
You most certainly freaking are hellbent. Absolutely.
Like, I'm over here talking and my cereal's getting soggy. How dare I do that?
Take your time. You got hiccup. Mine is also soggy, but there's significantly less of it. With things starting to slowly open back up here and there, where is kind of the next place that we're going to be seeing the Hellbent Vixen in action?
I'm definitely going to be going back to Mexico. I'm not too sure when, but that is a goal, and that is something that I have planned. I was kind of like against taking bookings at first because, I'm still kind of worried, and, people are saying the numbers are going back up again. But you know what? I'm willing to just like go anywhere that people want the Hellbent Vixen to be at. I will be there.
You know what? I think if everyone's just doing it to the safest way possible, to the best of their ability, fingers crossed that everything will be all right. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to let your cereal go soggy with me. I know see, it's my fault for doing an interview show that involves eating food that's time sensitive. So
and talking at the same time, so you forget that you have a bowl of cereal in front of you.
As always, had a lovely time chatting with you. And again, just want to thank you for being on the show. Thank you for getting cereal with us today. And we see you later.